What's going on, people? Hey, big up in the comments. One brother said Rants is watching. You know man's always here, blood. You know man's always here watching you lot go at it in the comment section, bro. I big up everyone there, blood. What you man saying, bro? Both your teams won and that you must be gassed.
Yeah, let me kick it off. I mean, yo, my team, was so boring. I nearly fell asleep. Like, second half, dozing off. And I'm just being real. It was a late kickoff, and I was dozing away. I was starting to get real sleepy. It was all about the 3 points, obviously, but just I'm someone that likes to look at the bigger picture. And if I see my team are not playing well and they're winning, I'll still say it. And if they've lost and they've played well, I'll say it. So they really, especially in the first half, were extremely lethargic. They looked nervous. They looked clueless. It was like there was no real plan. You know when you see teams like Man City and they go forward and you can see there's a plan. There's players moving into certain areas and positions, and it's structured and organized, and there's a methodical way of breaking the team down. Chelsea were the complete opposite. Like, it was just literally just cross an insular. Like, it was just go wide and see if you can get into the box, and then hopefully we'll score. But we don't have our best crosser, Reece James, on the pitch, and Giroud is missing headers, which is just like crazy to me as well. It was all over the place. But yeah, it's just about getting the 3 points, I guess, at the end of the day. And it's just hopefully we can secure top 4. That's all it is.
That's it, bro. And Arsenal, bro, done what needed to be done yesterday, blood. I couldn't believe it.
Hey, I was hearing that team could beat Invincibles, and that if you can't go up against Lacazette and Reece Nelson, you can't chat. But banter aside, it's lovely to win. I didn't think we'd win. Nobody did. Liverpool made them crucial mistakes, and it's nice as an Arsenal fan to be on, the benefiting side of individual mistakes and lacking concentration. It's actually nice. In the second half, I think we rid our lot. Clearly, we rid our lot. It was nice in the second half, obviously, to be an Arsenal fan and see out the lead, because we've been in them positions before. As far as last week, we're in the winning positions against Leicester and Spurs. We obviously didn't get the 3 points. So it's nice to see that down. You know what they say, you're only as good as your last game. And based on that logic, we're champion material and them things. No, on a serious note, it's lovely to beat Liverpool. It was looking techie before. I think first 20 minutes, we were just trying to fight and stay alive. I think it was clearly damage limitation. We're going to try our best to beat City in the FA Cup for obvious reasons. We need the Europa League. It looked like we're throwing the gauntlet down. Aubameyang never started. Nelson got a vote of confidence. Felt we rid our luck. I think the goal was coming. I think Martinez had a superb game, but he let himself down with his distribution. There was obviously a time when Mane almost, that was it, Mane or Firmino, one of them was lying down on him and it hit the post. Then in the lead up to the goal, it all comes from a Martinez goal. And it's the same things I kind of spoke about, not following runners, 2v1 situations, which Mane and Robertson exploited greatly, in my opinion. Obviously, ironically, Martinez was involved in one of our goals as well, because it all came from a loose goal kick. Sorry. Obviously, you saw the throw and it didn't bang. So there are some positives, managing out the game. We kind of had to withstand pressure. You all saw the statistics. 33% possession, 3 shots, 2 on target. Listen, it really means nothing beyond bragging points and some sort of feel-good factor. But if that's any different contexts with the playing the league champions, people would say that's a quality performance. You could say we was effective and we had less shots and whatnot. So it's nice to kind of do that. We were helped out by the mistakes. I felt we grew into the game in the last 15, but yeah, there's things to take from it. Ultimately, it means nothing. But crucially for me, it's what Arteta said after the game. It's like, I can't remember it hand to hand, but he's kind of throwing the gauntlet down at the board to invest and whatnot. We did have some heart in mouth moments. Big up Tierney. I think he's on his way to being the best left back in the Prem at this moment in time. I think Saka did all right. Lacazette put a shift in, but yeah, man, it's all about Saturday, bro.
Yeah, 100. Tierney looked serious, bruv. And the mad thing is, like, we were linked with him a few years back, them ones, and I was like, yeah, this issue looks all right, but everyone was kind of like, how's he going to make the change from playing in that league, because the league's a joke, bruv, to come to the Prem, and he's come in, and bruv, every time I've seen him play, he looks like a baller, bruv. And the thing is, not only can he attack here, but he's got that British grit about him as well, where like he can get stuck in when he wants to get stuck in, bro. And yeah, he definitely looks like he's going to be one of the top left backs in the league. And what, you got him for what, like 20 mil or something?
20, 25 mil. And that's like you said, yeah, that's what I like about him, because it's like, I ain't seen a player like Tierney since Sagna. They're completely different fullbacks, but it's like with Sagna, we could think about other positions. We know 10 games, we're getting a base level of performance. We know he's reliable. We know he's not coming with nonsense. And for me, with Tierney, it's just now a case of staying fit. He was unfortunate with his shoulder. He came here with some injuries. it's a mentality thing, you know. Obviously, the Scottish League isn't necessarily the most competitive, but Celtic have big expectations. You can't come through that club and not doing that. And looking at his character, the way he's grown up, you know, he was very much middle class. It's like he knows that he's only got two crackers and he ain't even got fried dumpling in his yard. He's not here. He's here to be serious, and it's encouraging for me because I'm seeing things like, I don't know if it's true, but I'm seeing reports how the players in training were kind of telling him to tone it down in the way he's tackling. I like that because I think you should train how you want to play. And I think he's got an elite mentality. And it's like, that's what we need. We need that all around. It's just a case of staying fit. And it is concerning at my club, though, because right now, ironically, he's probably our best centre-half as well. And obviously, he's not a centre-half. So we're in grave danger if we don't do a thing in the market.
Ironically, I'm wearing my Celtic top, yeah.
Oh, the Arsenal top,
yeah, I like it because Celtic I follow in Scotland because my stepdad's got a bit of Scottish, but Tierney's not the first one to come through Celtic. You look at Van Dijk, a player that bossed in that league as well, scoring free kicks, and no one really took a punt on him. Another player that was looking real good in Southampton took the punt, and they benefited obviously quite clearly. You look at Moussa Dembele, who's gone to Lyon. You know, they striker up there now that's doing very well. You know, Celtic are a very good team to take players off because, like you said, they're playing with pressure every week. They're expected to win every single season, and they have a big crowd as well. You know, you look at the old days, Celtic Park, they used to start in the Champions League, play AC Milan, Barcelona.
Club, without a doubt.
They're a big club. They've won the Champions League. They're a big club. You know what I mean? They're wrapped in history. So if you've come through there and you've been one of the stars, you're definitely a contender to do well in the Premier League because, like you said, he's got the grit and the determination
to do well at Arsenal specifically.
Yeah, you're gonna get that. You know what I mean? You've got your Robertson who are absolute pricks, but if they're on your team, you love them. You know what I mean? It's like that's what
do you know what it is? Yeah, based on what you say. Sorry to cut you off, my dude, but it's like what I heard Craig Bellamy once say. He's like, I'm not here to make friends. I'm here to win. That's what we need. Obviously, Arsenal are not going to win major titles anytime soon, but you need to have that aspiration. I think right now at Arsenal, too many men dream of that. We don't want to live it. You don't actively breathe it and want to chase the goals. I want to see this rub off at Tierney. Tierney rub off the squad because I look at our young players. I think Saka continues with that. I feel sadly there's a number of experienced individuals that will turn it on this week and next week they won't. It's like it's almost sad, like, because I don't count now, so Arsenal falling off, but we're still a big club, and it's like Tierney's been in here 2 sets, and we're praising things with all due respect to him. That should be the minimum, and I feel until we make that the minimum, it's a myth at this club, man. But yeah, go on.
Exactly. That's how I feel about Bruno at our club as well. Like he's coming and he's got an expectation of everyone else that should have already been there in the first place. You know, like that. Because when I was watching my team play, man had captains, bro. I keep saying we had captains of their countries, boy. Roy Keane, you know what I'm saying? Even Valencia had the armband for his country, bro. Do you know what I'm saying? We had David Beckham at one point, Wayne Rooney. All these men wearing armbands, bro. Nemanja Vidic, Ryan Giggs. Do you know what I mean? These men are all captains, fam. Man had a certain level of expectation in the dressing room. And it's like, man are applauding a man saying, yeah, he's a leader. He's telling people to go X, Y, Z. But, bro, man should have 11 of those.
You shouldn't be able to tell which one's captain and them things. There's the minimum. It's like, that's what you said. I'll go back to the Invincibles. Clearly, you know, we had captains, but you could look at Lauren, Lehman, Sol, Henry, and the rest of them, and you can't really distinguish the leader. Obviously, that can go on the flip side when you got too many chefs, but it's the minimum. If we want top 4, Arteta can't be sitting there and talking to them like they're kids and telling them the ramifications of winning and losing. And as Arsenal fans, we're notorious for doing this if thing. If we won this, if we win our next games, but we need to deal with the facts and where we're going wrong and what we need to do, dude, man.
And the thing is, when you speak about leaders as well, we've spoken about this so many times. It's like leaders having too many chefs in the kitchen. That just makes other players play better. That's just pushing the levels. Someone makes a mistake, you know someone's onto them, and it's like it's a ripple effect. It's like a deck of cards. And what we have at our clubs right now is not enough leaders. So if someone makes a mistake or someone's playing off their game,
heads down.
No one's really saying anything to them, and it's like, everyone's too concerned, and I'm talking about both our teams here, especially in the defense. Everyone's too concerned making sure that their own defending is okay when it's usually not, because they're not good enough themselves. And then, so they can't look after anybody else's game. You look at Sol Campbell's, your Terry's, they had their own game on point, and then they rose the defender next to them and made their game on point as well. They turned average defenders into good defenders. We've got defenders who are average. They can't even pattern their own game, so they're not going to care about looking after the person next to them. So everybody's defending. Yeah, so everyone's defending individually. And then when everyone's defending individually, you don't have a collective unit. You have mistakes coming in, and it's a lack of communication. It's lack of organization. That's what it is.
It's facts, and I see that at Arsenal. Well, Arteta's patting it a bit, but I'm seeing that it used to be like my thing used to be the pressing, because I've always said defenders, we've got to defend from the front. It looked like at many a times our front three, whoever it would be, they would, if they're right wing, they'll just press that left back. Once he gets past a certain area, it's not my job. I'm not the full guy. Now, to a degree, I'm seeing, man, you're a striker, but you're there putting in the shift at right back for the moment. That's what you need to see. It's like we said earlier, you need to have the fear of letting down the team and being accountable. For me, even if you cannot be the best in your position, you need to aspire to be the best in their position, regardless of what position you play. You need to, when the manager thinks of who is reliable, who is going to make the difference for my team, they need to think of you. And I don't think too many players relish that sort of pressure. And I always say it, even it goes down to mistakes. We're always going to blast mistakes. They're always going to get clipped up on social media. But for me, if you make a mistake, if you're a defender and you ball play out the back, or the way we're moving, that will happen. You've got to have the mentality to go again, try that pass again. As much as they'll blast you, I want to see that again. And it's like at Arsenal, that hasn't been there. It's like it will work 10 times. And then the 11th time, a defender will clap it. You made a mistake. You don't want to do that again. Or it's like, what's the word? I don't know what it would be, but you see when you made a mistake and you find your base level of performance and it can only get better from there. We'll make one mistake, and then the fear of making a mistake, a next man makes a mistake, and it's just in free fall sort of thing, man.
Yeah, absolutely, bro. We see man going at it in the comments, bro. The Tierney versus Robertson thing going.
I love the Robertson thing. We'll let him have his year. Next year we're coming.
These man are going. Man are saying that Tierney's the better individual player and Robertson's in a better system, bro.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Yeah, it looks like that. It's looking that way, to be honest. It is looking that way. But again, because Tierney's had the injuries, man want to see him have a full season in the Prem. You get me? So I can really judge him. But based on what I've seen, the guy looks like a different level of player, bro. Do you know what I mean? A different level, bro. Like, man can't see a weakness in this game at the moment.
I hope that continues, man, because he's passed us the Zaha test, Adama Traore test, Mo Salah test. The Wolves are going to be out when he does have that bad day and does get ripped. The thing I like about him is it sounds stupid to say, but as a defender, he's always trying to be switched on. Like, he's always trying to be switched on. The only time he let himself down, and I don't know why he was marking against Spurs? Toby Alderweireld. I don't know why he was doing that. He holds his hands up. I think both of them are kind of interchangeable, Robertson and Tierney. I like Robertson, but I do think he's one of them people that people just bumps up. Whatever he does is the in-ting. It's a bread. I do think Tierney is slightly more intelligent as a footballer. And maybe I'm always going to say that because I'm an Arsenal fan, but I do think there's more to his game. But like you said, the system, I do think Robertson's probably got evidently quicker, but other than that, I wouldn't change Robertson for Tierney, to be fair. And if I was a Liverpool fan, to be fair, at this moment in time, like you said, Rants, I wouldn't be too fussed, but we'll have to see, man. But Robertson needs to fight Saka for that left back spot, man. We're coming hard at some point now.
I haven't seen any weaknesses in Tierney's game either, to be honest. I mean, at Celtic, like I said, and the thing is about him as well is he's very good centrally, which you're seeing now in the back three. He's very comfortable as a defender, and I think that's the sign of a real fullback, because every fullback in the modern game can go forward. They can get the crosses in, they can overlap. When you've got a defender that you can stick at left side of centre back, and play in a defensive role and rely on them, like you said, you probably think he's your best centre back right now. That's a huge sign. That's a huge sign, because that means now defensively they're sorted. Too many times, especially at Chelsea, we have left backs that, apart from Aspilicueta, who obviously gets shifted over there because of our left backs, but Alonso, Emerson, they go forward, and even going forward, they're not great. Their crossing is not good. It's really just a lot of goal hanging from Alonso, and Emerson is just very average. But coming back, they always need cover. And if you've got a left back like Tierney who can do the defensive work and doesn't have to drag their centre back out to help them every minute, then the whole shit just stays complete. So you're in a good position there with Tierney, 100%.
Do you know what it is with Tierney as well? Like, as much as I love Tierney, I have to big up. It just hit me. I have to big up Saka, because I feel that's one thing I take away from Arteta. I think Saka and Tierney, they did very well doubling up on Salah. And when I look at Salah, as any fan, he's dangerous on a counter. But as an Arsenal fan, I specifically wait to that ball, like till he's hitting that channel. Like you saw at Anfield, our left back was lacking. David Luiz, I think, got pulled out and he committed a foul. I believe he got sent off. I can't remember. That never happened yesterday. Maybe it was a bad day at the office from Liverpool. They're still having a hangover, but they locked it down. And what I liked, they're always talking. And it's like, I feel Saka did very well as well yesterday, man. And he keeps showing his maturity. And like I said, we need more players like that. The sad thing is, that's 2 man. What about the 9 other players, really? Take nothing away from the collective performance. But yeah, man.
Yeah, I was running that Mo Salah agenda on Twitter yesterday. I can't even lie. Listen, he's such a scatty footballer, blood. I don't care, yeah. He scored many goals and that, yeah. But fam, a man's in Dubai, his face is everywhere, bro. He's so scatty, bro. When you watch him play, bro, he looks like he's running in puddles, blood. Like, I just don't get it. Like, honestly, if you never saw man's stats here and you just watched him play, you would think, right, who's this youth, blood? You know, who's this youth, bro? He just looks very scatty. You pass him the ball, it bounces off man's shin and that. It's all like all scatty, and then man will slap it top bins out.
Yeah.
After missing like 6 chances before, blood, and it's like, what?
You know, you just don't want to bust him on that counter, man. Like, I think he's got more technical ability than man give credit. But yeah, it's like you can tell he's played on he's been a street baller before because the way he kind of moves is uncoordinated. It works for me as a player, but. Yeah, I mean, it's not refined in a healthy way. Like,
When we speak about Salah, like obviously he was at Chelsea and he didn't really impress me when he was at Chelsea at all. He did get some chances. I remember a Shrewsbury away game in the cup. He was absolutely shocking. Literally, he took a shot from the edge of the area and literally went out for a corner. So I was never too worried about when we got rid of him, and I still don't regret it because it's very clear that his game has progressed in Italy. Even at Fiorentina, he's come back. He's far more developed now. His finishing is way better than it was. He's very clinical now.
Finishing as well.
Yeah. So the thing is with Salah is it's very clear that he's developed.
I don't know about clinical, blood. The numbers say otherwise, but he does score goals. He scores goals.
He scores goals though.
Listen, clinical means, that you need less chances to score goals. That's what clinical means.
He's not clinical.
He's not clinical. He's a very good goal scorer.
You're going to do it like that, calm. He needs
the thing is, though, I mean, the thing is, though, if you look at all the top strikers in Europe, most of them have the most big chances missed just because they're getting themselves into more opportunities. I think even Lewandowski has got like quite a decent amount of missed chances. But obviously he's very clinical. So it depends on how you look at it. But yeah, he's one of those players that left us. I wouldn't say I regret it because, again, it's a player that very much suits the system. Klopp, the way Klopp is playing suits him very well. I mean, I don't see him putting up these numbers at Barca or Real Madrid because it's a different way of playing. So out of that pack, it's only really De Bruyne that you just knew he was going to be a baller, and we fumbled on that one. But now Salah's definitely improved.
No, he has 100%. Ashley Young took him out his pocket and gave him to Tierney yesterday, blood. That's what that's what happened. He said, "Yo, hold this you, blood." Ashley Young been pocketing Mo Salah, blood. You know what I said? It's calm, innit? When I was watching it, I was like, "Yeah, cool. Man can slap up all the West Broms and that, but when man comes to OT, man gets the back pocket, blood, next to the car keys. That's how it's always been."
The thing is, we played him earlier in the season, and Tomori pocketed him as well at Stamford Bridge. Tomori had a really good day against him, so I kind of see what you mean at the moment. Like he is very either on it or off it. But I think also, if we're talking about Liverpool forwards, I think we don't go any further than Firmino because this brother, what's going on with Firmino, man? He just doesn't seem to
refuse to speak, boy. I refuse to speak. Like, I think Firmino's a baller. Listen, I'm not one of them man that always get at him and whatnot. I think he's a baller. I take him at Arsenal. I just feel when you look at a man's individual game, he is too good of a player not to bag more goals. Whatever man talk about his system and his Liverpool, he should score more. And I believe Lacazette's lapped him now. And Lacazette's largely been woeful this season. I would rather Firmino. I can't lie, he's more of a baller. But that just shows. I do think Firmino doesn't get criticised for not scoring enough goals, especially in a Liverpool team like that. Like, I know he assists, I know he does his thing. I keep seeing running jokes on Twitter about him not bagging at Anfield. I personally thought yesterday he was going to come and rip us because he typically does. He took the night off. But yeah, man, the lack of goals from Firmino, I can't lie, is criminal for a player of his ability, in my opinion. He definitely should be critiqued.
Firmino's a madman. I don't know what it is. You know what it is with Bobby Firmino? Yeah, it's like, when you deep Liverpool system, them man have their fullbacks taking free kicks, and they have no striker, blood. Like, you know them ones that their system's bug, bro. Like, Klopp is, bro, he's just a scientific genius, bro.
Yeah, he's a madman.
Like, bro, the team on paper is not meant to make sense, bro. Like, it's not meant to. How are most of your assists coming from your fullbacks, and you have no centre forward, bro? Like, you know what I'm saying? Firmino's playing like a false 10 or something. He's not even a 10, but man's just like, whatever.
They are in it. Like, just get on the ball and do work some magic.
System's mad, innit? The system's mad. When you watch them play, bruv, like, they had a free kick yesterday. I saw Robertson and Trent standing over a free kick. And I was like, what? So who's defending? You know them ones?
Yeah.
No, it's mad.
But they are the best crosses in the team. Their team is very odd and
game now.
It's quite incredible that they've won it by the distance that they have. Because even if you look at their midfield, you go through that midfield. Is there any real world class midfielders in there like that are in like the if you used to make a squad like a world 25-man squad?
Yeah, them man are nowhere near it, bro.
You're looking at Kepa, Chamberlain, Milner, Henderson. Fabinho are great, but he's still not one of the top worlds holding.
Right, he's not, but that tells you, like I keep saying, the system was always king, bro. The system is king, bro. You have your system, you find your players to suit your system,
and you make
not
it
the other way around. You don't buy players and then try to fit them in, bro. Because that's
everyone in a different team.
That's it. Then you got square pegs, round holes thing, and that's what I said about the Maguire thing. When man caught Maguire, when you're looking at Lindelof and Bailly, buying Maguire, that wasn't a system buyer. That was, I think he's a good player. Let me buy him. He don't fit. He don't work, bro. Do you know what I'm saying? He don't suit Lindelof. And he don't really suit Eric Bailly, blood. Like, signing him didn't really make no sense. If you decide Lindelof's going to be your number 2 centre-back, your number 1 centre-back's characteristics can't be like Harry Maguire. He's too slow. Positioning-wise, he's not that great either. And when you don't have good positioning and you don't have recovery pace, what the hell do you have?
You're pissed.
See, that's the thing with Zuma. At least his positioning can be off, but at least his recovery pace is A1. Zuma can get back quickly, and when it comes to making a last-ditch tackle, he's very good at that. Like I remember against Palace, Benteke was about to score. It was definitely going to go.
Bad boy tackle.
What a tackle at the end. But I never really, my heart never really left my chest because I kind of knew he would get the tackle on point. He's very good at slide tackles, last-ditch defending. That's the kind of defender he is, which kind of complements whoever we bring in. Hopefully, they're calm, composed, they got their position on point, they're a leader. Stick them next to Zuma, and I can see our defense improving. So you need complementary centre-backs. You look at your Vidiches and Ferdinands, whoever you pair company with, Terry and Carvalho, they always complement each other. You know what I mean? You don't want 2 defenders with the same characteristics because it's very rare, apart from Van Dijk, that you get a defender that can do it all. You know what I mean? Even Terry have no pace. Do you know what I mean? So you need something next to them that complements them.
I mean, as regarding Arsenal, boy, like just in relation to Arsenal, it's just a mazza, man. There isn't nothing to say about ours. It's like what madness are you feeling today, sort of thing. With our centre halves, Mustafi. Well, I'll give Mustafi. He's fairly confident on the ball. We clearly know he's not levels long term, but for all what he is, I feel he's fairly confident in the air. I feel he's not the tallest. He's decent in the air. His positioning can be decent, but it's like he gets gassed off the team play. It's like when he starts seeing zip 1-2s, it's like he wants to join in. David Luiz is just a free spirit, to put it nicely. Someday he's gonna be mad on it. Sometimes he just decides he's not. Holding, I don't know. I'm a big fan of Holding, but it's like we was talking about off it rants, where you have to be real. It's like I know he's been injured and stuff, but he's not looking like the lick right now. Like yesterday, I'm seeing him charge 42 minutes in the game. He's just charging out of defense, and then he tried to rit off Marnie. I'm thinking like, what? Where's the thought process? And I look at it. There might be a player in there, not to the scale of Salah, but on the purpose of a player developing when you sold them. That might happen to him. But at the end of the day, we bought him for 2 million. You might get a 15, 20 for him, maybe. That's a little profit. We got Guendouzi for 8? He's linked with a 40 million move. If we're really trying to do this Dortmund model and things like that, then I'm pretty sure Dortmund have missed the next stars of tomorrow, but got it right. And they've got the sellings going on, and we need to do that. I mean, our centre halves, they go through runs of form. I'm not trying to be harsh or things, but I just don't think I struggle to really compliment them really and truly. Like I feel probably Chambers was probably our best centre half this season until he got bodied, and that's it. It's like you lot can talk this centre half thing. Me, like there's nothing to say, bro.
Yeah, but again, look at the system, bro. Because like defensively, you man are looking a lot better. Like your manager's got something right, bro. Sometimes you don't need to buy a player to improve, blood. You just need to. You just need to tweak things, blood, because man ain't got no outstanding centre back. The fact that you lot are still at odds with who your best centre back is, but you're better defensively, shows you that your manager's doing something right because he didn't buy someone to change it.
And that's
what it is. That's what it is with us, blood. Right now, the bare man are saying, right, actually, maybe Maguire's not better than Lindelof now. After we just splashed 85 M's on him, it's a bit late, fam.
Yeah, you have to run.
You have to run with it now, blood. You know what I mean? Man's got the armband. You know what I mean?
There now. Is what it is.
Like man's there now. So now we have to build a defense around him. We don't have a choice. Because 85 million and armband, man don't have no choice now.
You really have no choice whatsoever. You can't be splashing 85 million on a centre back and not investing in that and actually like having to build around that. Just to see Alexander's comment here. Yeah, I get you on the low block for sure. You don't need quick centre backs, but that's very much your Brighton and Burnley type football. And if you're going to go with the low block, what top team in the modern era is trying to play with a low block?
You're going to be on the ball more anyways as well. Like
we're going to be on the front foot. We're going to be looking to go forward. We're going to be looking to pass out the back, play a high line, put pressure on the defense. If you're gonna play a low block and you're a top team, but you're going to press forward, which seems to be the way people are pressing. High intensity trying to get forward, then you're just going to have gaps in between the lines. You can't defend in a shape with a low block, but then press high. So either you're going to play counter attack and play with the low block, like Chelsea did for like a whole decade, and play kind of like a negative football, or you're going to press high and attack and press from the front. And if you're going to do that, then you need quick centre backs. So you need one of them to be quick. So that slow centre back combo that only really works with like a Burnley, a Brighton, your Lewis Dunks, whatnot, when they're going to be defending most of the time because they're coming up against teams that are better than them. So it only makes sense to counter.
And it's like what you said. It almost boils down to common sense. It's like what Rand said. Football is a system. Like I hate when people bang on about he's a systems player. He can only play good in the system. It's like a tool. You need to use it correctly. You need to know what you're doing with it. And naturally, if you find players for your system and then you recognize that nobody's perfect unless you're Messi or Ronaldo, there's going to be something. He could be a good centre half, but he's just slow. Common sense would tell you to pair him up with someone that's faster. Now, this guy who's faster might be dead on the ball, might not be as switched on. He's got a teacher to tell him to pattern. It's like having Perez at a time with Arsenal with Perez. You know, he wasn't the best defensively, so naturally, man have to work harder. Wenger knew Cesc Fabregas, he works with Gilberto. He don't work with Vieira. So I'm going to need to take the plunge of sadly getting rid of Vieira. It's just common sense when you find systems and players you want to kind of help them because no one's perfect. You all got weaknesses. Someone commented a fantastic point in relation to Nick Pope. And that's what we're speaking about in relation to Dean Henderson. I think with his move to United, if he gets to number one, there's a lot of psychological things. But you look at the Sheffield United system, they're very much of the art of let's defend perfectly and stuff, and we take it from there. So naturally, he's going to be tested. Well, he's still tested a lot, but he's going to shine a bit better. Is United system to the level where they're as switched on defensively? Potentially not, because it kind of tells. So you probably will see a different Dean Henderson. I'm not saying he won't play well, but you'll see a different sort of thing. And his systems, it's like if Van Dijk came into Arsenal's system right now, he would show his ability, but there would still be shortcomings because Arsenal, while we've improved, players are still not following runners. There's still too many gaps and things like that. So it's just common sense to pair players with players who can't complement them. It's like a striker, 4-4-2 days. You're going to have little and large if you can. It's common sense. It's not wrong.
But that's why when people say system players, bro, system player, yeah, is not derogatory, bro. Nowadays, people are trying to make the system player thing like it's an insult. It's not an insult, fam. But the bottom line is certain man just suit playing in certain systems. It's that simple. The top players, yeah, the most well-rounded footballers can play in multiple systems, bro, because they've got multiple qualities. But sometimes certain players only have qualities to suit a certain thing, bro. You look at Xhaka, yeah, in this Arsenal midfield, looks like a decent midfielder again because of the system. You change the system, he don't look good because he's limited, bro. Certain players are limited, but the one thing they're limited at might just be wavy, blood. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. They might be wavy in that system, limited, bro. Like what Mo Salah's doing at Liverpool, he's not doing that at Arsenal or United, bro. Them numbers, no way. No way. The Klopp system works for man.
Yeah, and this is why I'm not too hung up on the whole Salah should have stayed at Chelsea thing or Chelsea missed out on Salah. Like I said, De Bruyne is very clear he can fit any system. You put De Bruyne in Arsenal's midfield, City's, Chelsea's.
You'll lose something, but you'll still have a player there.
Yeah, he's going to do something. Salah, all the time up against low blocks, every single weekend. No transitions, no quick high pressing, no breaks. No passing into space. I'm not so sure if you're going to get Salah. So yeah, he's very good with his feet in tight spaces. You've seen that with his record-breaking goal-scoring season. He can create something out of nothing, but to do it consistently, that's another thing. So yeah,
the same can be said about Gini Wijnaldum as well. Good footballer, but you stick him in any random midfield, man. You stick him in a midfield with flipping. If you stick him in the midfield with Xhaka and what's his name, the French Guendouzi brother, he's not looking at the same player that's playing
no
system. Jordan Henderson ain't even a top half of the table midfielder, bro. You know what I mean? And he's captain in Liverpool, bro.
Hey, the wickedest thing is, I agree, but when I look at it, yeah, playing devil's advocate, he actually, if we went with a midfield three, it still wouldn't be nothing. But I think he'd upgrade it, you know, just because of how he is.
Who's that? Henderson.
Ronaldo.
Of course he would upgrade it, but he wouldn't look like the same player that's in Liverpool, blood. You know what I mean? Of course he would upgrade it. He's a good player. But what I'm saying is, yeah, that system automatically makes everyone playing in it look better than they are. Automatically.
I watched one.
I think Joe Gomez is a wavy centre back.
Oh man, so I allow him
at Newcastle, and the Wijnaldum you're seeing now, then the one you're seeing at Newcastle is not really that different. Like, he was a good player at Newcastle as well. Do you know what I mean? But
he had to change his game more time, like, because he was more
a good player at Newcastle. But you weren't looking at him saying, "Yo, he deserves to be in the Champions League final."
No, never. Yeah,
everyone is a lie.
Now I'm saying, bro, and when I say, like, even with the Gomez thing with the Matisse and even Van Dijk as well, wavy baller and that. Man made a mistake yesterday and it was all like, man was looking for someone to blame and I was like, hey, babe.
You know when it's your fault and you're like, we did. It's only your fault, brother. Like, it's your fault.
Bro, it killed me.
He loves
another good centre back as well, but you know what it is, yeah? You see Van Dijk, you never really see him have to defend one-on-one in that Liverpool system. Bro, I seen Martial spin man all around, blood, when he was at Southampton, bro. As well. Man on the floor, bro. Yeah. Now I'm saying Rashford bounce, man, had man grabbing. I got the wallpaper, everything. You know them ones there. Like, it's like, if you isolate man one-on-one, you might be able to get some change from him. But in that Liverpool system, you never get him one-on-one. Same with Trent. You never get him defending one-on-one. Like, you know what I mean? But when you do, Rashford mashed up Trent, blood. Multiple times.
Trent defensively is very suspect individual. Do you know what I mean? Very suspect. And even Trent, as well, if you look at his statistics, someone was doing this as well. I don't know where it was on Twitter, but someone did their homework anyway. The amount of crosses that he actually completes in comparison to like a Wan-Bissaka, the difference is not that mad. Do you know what I mean? No, he crosses a lot. Trent's thing is that it's a high sample size. So he gets this, but he also has a lot of attempts. This product,
I think someone's going to reply to my DM. Simple.
It's because of the system. It's because of the system. The system allows him. And
that's what the system demands of him as well. Like, he just put in the box. Like, you're a good crosser, put balls in the box sort of thing.
Yeah. If you look at Trent, every time he picks up the ball, it doesn't matter if he's wide or he's central, he always crosses. Like, get out and cross it into the box. He picked up the ball. There was this one instance where this is a position where you're keeping possession. You're literally just trying to move the opposition around. Arsenal were just defending outside their box. And he gets the ball inside right. This is not on the wing. Inside right, one out of his feet, cross straight away. I'm just like, this is what this brother does every week, isn't it? Every week. It's just literally get out your feet and whip it in the box. And then you got right now who's coming back post. You got Mane's. You got Salah's who are working on their heading technique. All these players just flood in the box. They don't even have. The thing is about Liverpool is they don't even have an aerial presence. Yeah. There's no aerial presence for this amount of crosses.
And they still score goals from crosses. It's mad, bro. And that tells you the system, yeah? Their fullbacks have the responsibility that Bruno has for United at the moment, bro. That's the reason why he loses the ball so much, bro. 70%, because man's always trying to play the final team. Their fullbacks are doing the same thing. So it makes sense that these men are getting 10, 12, 13 assists, bro, because literally their job is to be the creators. They just create from wide. That's all it is. So when you look at the system, like, it all makes sense. It makes sense. But again, the system is what makes certain man look a certain way, bro. You don't get isolated because they press as a team. Do you know what I mean? They defend as a team, bro. As soon as you start isolating man one-on-one, you realize that individually, man are not the best. That's okay. But then that's the beauty of the system. And that's why you have to pick up the manager. You have to pick up the manager.
I feel the same way about Klopp as I do with Pep. When these two leave their clubs eventually, it's going to be a different ball game at the top of the league. I'm telling you, it's going to be way more even because Klopp and Pep, what they do for their clubs is unheard of. It makes such a huge difference. And City as well, they have quality players. But again, that system, you know, the likes of Sterling, you add on goals to that boy's tally for that system. And when you take those two managers out of that team, they're so well coached, top coaches. When you take that out, and just sticking like a Lampard, Arteta type level, it's going to be a different ball game. So, do you know what I mean? These two are at the top of their powers, and then I don't think they'll be there forever because that just never seems to happen in football. But when they go, plus the fact that both their squads are aging, they're both like they're all in their prime. They're all 28 plus. They're players. You look at Van Dijk, Firmino, Salah, Mane. You go to City, De Bruyne. They've already lost company, Aguero. When these guys start getting on, and then their managers have been there a couple years and they maybe done everything they need to do, say Pep wins the Champions League, once they've completed it and these squads are washed, it could be the sharpest decline you've ever seen, because I really do think, like I said, Man United and Chelsea, especially their young players coming through, and Arsenal, if they can get a grip of their owner, and you got Saka, you got Tierney, you got Martinelli, there could be a flip. I would not be surprised, because I don't see many youngsters coming through at Liverpool. I don't see many youngsters coming at City, apart from Foden. They're going to have to buy it. They're going to have to buy it. Obviously, they can buy it, but it helps when you've already got some of the players there.
That's the thing about Liverpool. You look at Liverpool. I've been saying to my Liverpool supporting friends that I know you lot are paying great, but for the last couple of years now, you've been, as a squad, you've probably been at your best for about 3 years. You know, you got to the Champions League final, Champions League last year, you're doing your thing. Naturally, and Ferguson was notorious for saying this, it works in cycles. For whatever reason, they're going to need to change something.
The decline's pending, bro. The decline's pending. I tweeted yesterday, what's the odds of them not finishing in the top 2 next season? I'll put money on.
The top 3 are complacent as well, in the sense that they're playing well, but it's like, if you don't play well, which one of you is really getting drops? Who's putting? That's why I would think Liverpool fans would have been hopeful over Werner, because it's fantastic options. You know, you can play Firmino behind, or someone can get dropped, and it brings everyone up. Like, you look at Arsenal, Leno. Obviously, it's different because he got injured, but now Leno's got a fight on his hands if Martinez keeps that up, and now that's probably gonna bump each other up, sort of thing. Someone in the comments said something.
If you look at Firmino as well, that might be why, because look, who's really coming out of that system to replace him? If you sign someone like Werner, like you said, that automatically pressurizes Firmino.
Creativity with losing Firmino as well.
Yeah. You just say to Firmino, listen, if you're not going to finish your chances, and you can go and sit on the bench. They can't really get to him right now because it's very clear that he's better than Origi. Very clear. I don't see them dropping out the top 2 yet, but I certainly think in the next 2 or 3 years, you look at your Mason Greenwoods, when they start getting into their, not even their prime, but when they're just a bit more experienced and they've had a couple seasons under their belt,
in around the block,
yeah, it's going to be looking real different. When this person, so someone's in the comments said, where do I rate Liverpool best? Lord Jesus, best ever.
Yeah, we are going to talk about that anyway on the show. That's like one of the main topics that man want to get into. But what I say is about next season, bro. Honestly, City are going to spend keys now. They've bust case. Chelsea are already busting case. Chelsea are spending money. They've got loads of money to spend. United are definitely signing Jadon anyway, at least, bruv. We're signing man as well, blood. And you know what it is with Liverpool, as much as the club system bangs, but the thing is, the same with Manchester City. Once you work out how to play against these man, you start to see in it deficiencies. You see when you play Manchester City, individually their fullbacks aren't very good. So what you can do with Man City is you isolate them. So a lot of the time, you let Man City have the ball, you tell your attacking wingers not to follow these man back, and you just go direct, bro. You just go direct. That's why Man United pam them on the counter-attack every time, bro. The thing is, with Liverpool, all their creativity is from out wide. They've got no creative players in the midfield, bro. So if you stop the creative influence from out wide, bro, you ain't got to worry about their midfield. The midfielders don't even score goals like that. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Wijnaldum ain't a bags, man. He scores the odd goal. Henderson don't score goals. Firmino don't score goals. All their goals come from their 2 wide players, and from balls getting delivered from out wide. If you know how to play them, eventually teams are going to start cutting in on that. Actually, there's a way of playing against these man, because actually individual quality is not that high, bro. You know what I mean? It's the system, bro. So once you suss the system, I reckon next season is going to be hard for them, bro. And I think it's on
their midfielders, they don't particularly have a mad passing range or mad creativity in their passing. Like you said, you rarely see Henderson or Keita or any of their midfielders do like a clever little slip pass or a little dink over the top. They don't have that kind of ability with their passing or vision. So, like you're saying, I really do see a drop-off if people can figure them out. Another thing with them as well is, Klopp's working them hard in training. We have the same thing with Lampard, where we've had a lot of injuries this season because the training is just high press, high intensity. Klopp is probably even worse. That man has been running them into the ground for years. High intensity runs, high intensity press, training on point every day, motivation. Like this guy they're going to be exhausted at some point. It's only going to be 1 or 2 more seasons till this team is flat out on their face. And unless they revig it up and bring in some new players to just bring more life into the team.
Just freshen things up simply, man.
They will burn out as a team. They're burning out now. That's why they've dropped off so much. People talk about the drinking and whatever. It's also burning out. They're just burning out now. Do you know what I mean? They've got their title and they're tired as hell. Really tired as hell. That's really all it is. Do you know what I mean? They've been running all season. Last season, like you said, 3 seasons at the top. They made the Europa League final. I think they lost to Sevilla, but they had a great campaign that year as well. Pushed everyone real far. Knocked out Dortmund in the semis with a real dramatic game. Then they go to the Champions League final as well. Lose the final there. Push City all the way. Pure yards, pure running all season. And then this season as well. Then they win the Champions League last season. So
no serious injuries as well.
Yeah, we're actually talking about 4 years. Excuse me, not even 3. 4 years on this, and it's like
without a doubt.
At some point, you're running out of energy because when they was in the Europa League, they were looking like a top team. They didn't have all their signings in yet, but they were pushing it. So this is like nearly 4 years of just straight running from this team.
Yep. 100%, bro. I honestly think, like he said there, as quickly as Klopp built these man, I think they can just go back down. They'll never drop to where they came from. But honestly, I don't see longevity in their reign in England, bro. I don't see them doing what United did. I don't see them doing what Chelsea did. I don't see them even doing what Arsenal did in terms of being there or thereabouts, blood, because I don't think that they have the spending power. And even when I look at their squad depth here,
it's not incredible at all.
It's not incredible. They just got a very good system. Man, bringing man off the bench like Origi and flipping what's the short youth's name? Shaqiri and like, bro, these men are not that good, bro. Like, you know what I mean? When I look at their squad, it's like, bro, if Klopp leaves tomorrow, you're winning nothing ever again with them, man. You know them? Yeah. Like that's how I look at it, bro. Like the thing is, the team's very much built in his image, and they've got a functioning starting 11, like someone said. But honestly, if they have a couple serious injuries, man, we lost Pogba for the whole season, and we lost Rashford for a large spell.
Yeah.
Imagine if they lost flipping Firmino, and Salah for 9 months, bro. What, you think these men are finishing in the top 3? Bro.
Yeah, the only place I see depth is midfield, because all their midfielders are kind of like along the same level. You got Kepa can come in for Fabinho. You got Milner who can come in and do a job for
floating about in a couple roles.
If you lose a fullback, say they lose a fullback for 3 months or 4 months, suddenly the whole team's lopsided as hell. So now all the attacks are going down one side. The other fullback is nowhere near the level of these two. So you've already lost half your creative output just from that alone. That losing the fullbacks in that team is a problem. It's that they need to get depth for the fullback area, because if they lose one of those two, especially with all the running they've got to do every game all season, one injury to one of them and the whole team is lopsided, and then you've got a problem.
It's very true. So when you're looking at ranking them in terms of the Premier League best ever, but they're not even in the top 5. I don't even think we need a long discussion with that, bro.
No,
you know what I'm saying? We don't need a long discussion.
Where the Invincibles is. That's all I care about. I know you're not there with the Invincibles. That's all that matters, man. I think, I give credit to this Liverpool side. I've enjoyed, from a neutral's point of view, I've enjoyed watching them play. But it's like, when you get down to the nitty gritty and look beyond the fact that it's a fantastic achievement and look at it, what have they really like? They ain't got 100 points. I know there's been, they've had a terrific home record and things like that, but there isn't, beyond the fact that they're the first team to do this in 30 years, there isn't something that really puts them above the Invincibles or the treble or, Jose's sides and things. And obviously, I'm an Arsenal fan. I'm always going to be biased and say Invincibles is better, and I'll take if anyone feels different. But when it comes down to the finer details, I think they've really slipped up trying to create real history sort of thing in these last few games.
See, this guy saying points-wise, they are top 5. Let me tell you something about these points, Rude Boy. They don't mean shit, Rude Boy. The points ain't on the trophy. You know why it don't matter, fam? Because other teams drop points resting players to win Champions Leagues at the same time. And to win FA Cups at the same time and rotation. Liverpool got snapped out of every cup competition before the semis, bro. Every single one. They won in the FA Cup, not in the Champions League. Won in the league, bruv. Man, ain't nothing, bruv. So you only had the Premier League to focus on. So it doesn't matter. You know man. You might as well have not been in them competitions, bro. Like win a double or something, win a treble or something. Win something like that.
There's 2 directions this team could have gone in, right? post Christmas, they had this thing wrapped up. Let's be real. From January, we said this league's over. They could have gone for the Invincibles or the Centurions and set history there, or they could have started competing in all trophies. Those were the two directions, and they've done neither. They're not going to be Centurions. They're not going to be unbeaten. They don't have the best defensive record. That goes to Chelsea. They haven't won multiple competitions. They didn't get to the League Cup semi-final. They didn't get to the FA Cup semi-final. They didn't get to the Champions League because it looks like Atletico are going to knock them out, or maybe they have already. I don't know. They have already. So if you're trying to talk about, we're not here to belittle your achievement. You know, we respect you won the league, for God's sake. Do you know what I mean? You've won the league for the first time in 30 years. But if we're talking about what am I telling my grandkids about, I've been telling you right now, I'm not telling them about this. And it's not because of the club. I'm not salty. It's just because this is not going to stick out in my memory. I promise you. The only reason why it might is because of COVID. It's not because of anything else.
Only reason.
First time in 30 years. Like, that's the only thing to remember it.
Yeah, that's not credit to you. That's not a credit to you that you won it in COVID, because you was already going to win it before COVID. We all agreed that. So this title win period is not going to stick out. There was no memorable moments. There's no Aguero winner against QPR. There's nothing there. I'm being dead. This season, in terms of moments and memories and show-stopping moments, there's nothing. So for us to remember this, you had to break a record. You haven't done it. So as much as congrats for the trophy and whatnot, I'm not telling my grandkids about it. There's too much to tell. Do you know what I mean? And you lot just don't fall into that. You got Man United who won the treble, Arsenal done Invincibles, Chelsea done back-to-back and had the best defensive record and won cups alongside that as well. You've had teams that have won trophies. You've got Man City Centurions who have won the FA Cup alongside it as well. There's teams that have won trophies and won a collection of trophies in once. You've got Leicester who did absolutely nothing the season before. For me, that's more memorable. That team did not deserve to win the league at all. So if you're talking,
nearly got relegated.
Yeah, they literally just got promoted the season before. So if you're talking about memorable title wins, Leicester's above you lot. I'm sorry, they really are, because we were expecting you to do this at some point. You've been at the top for years. You have to set a record at some point. So
a couple of years, you're damn right, brother. And the United three-peated as well, blood. You man still need to win 3 back-to-back Premier Leagues, which you're not gonna do, fam. There's nothing that this Liverpool team have done yet that hasn't been done already. So what's memorable about it, apart from COVID? Like, let's be honest. Do you know what I'm saying? It means a lot more to them than it does to anyone else, fam. That's the reality of it, bro. Like, in the grand scheme of Premier League history, everyone will remember this as the Corona League title. They will.
It's true.
Everyone will, blood. The most memorable thing is that when your team won it, you weren't allowed out of your house. That's just what it was, blood. There's no parade, blood. No parade. Man had 5 subs, blood. It was like Power League. Man had drinks breaks and that. You know what I mean? Like, that's what it was, bro. It's not serious. Like, no one takes this title.
You know, the way you said that. Who says that? What rapper says that? Yo, it's not serious.
It's not, though, blood. It's not serious at all. Power League title, man, won that, blood. Drinks breaks and that, rolling subs and that. You, man, are not serious. It's not serious at all, bro. It's not serious at all. When are they going to do the parade, blood? Because man, have got 2-week break. And then we're coming straight back. So man, I'm gonna have to do the parade next season, while someone else is doing their one, because you're not winning it. You know, like that. So what? Like, what is it? Do you know what I'm saying? It's dead, fam. It's like celebrating your birthday like a year later, blood. Because that's what you're gonna have to do. It's all dead, fam. Like, you know, like that. Man's had the stale cake, blood, been on the side, and that the icing's all hard and
it's all hard.
Dead, bruv. Like, your thing's dead, fam. Like, that's just the reality of it. Got pammed by Atletico. Pammed.
And it was pammed. Like, it wasn't even unlucky. It was proper controlled and destroyed. And I understand
from Atletico.
Listen, don't get me wrong. I understand it. You won it the year before. It's very hard to come with the same motivation for a trophy you won the year before. But the domestics were there for you. They were really there. If you're the best team in the country, which you are at the moment, the domestics were for you. League Cup was there, but you man started throwing out teenagers and that. And yeah, I get the Club World Cup, but let's be real. That competition in itself, the clubs in it, is not that deep. Do you know what I mean? Like, usually the team that wins Europe wins the Club World Cup. That's kind of a given. So
they're counting that, though. I saw Liverpool fans. We won't count it this season.
You can count it, but at the end of the day, there's levels to this, and you know the European Super Cup and the Club World Cup are in a tier below. And what I'm saying is, you can complain all about the fixture congestion, but that's why you have a squad, and you lot didn't have a squad. It's very simple. If you had a squad, you would have been able to rotate for the League Cup. You would be able to send out 2 different teams like Man City do to both ways, and then you would have been able to compete. And the same for the FA. But you didn't have a squad, and this is what we're talking about. When we're talking about your squad, you don't have a squad. If the FIFA Charity Shield, I don't know if you man actually won that, but if that's a joke.
I think so. This is the FIFA Charity Shield. Real talk. Real talk.
The FIFA Charity Shield, that's a good one. I might have to start using that. But yeah, if you had a squad, you would have been able to compete on all fronts. So it's just a situation of that is why we're not comparing you to the rest, because do you know what I mean? You should have been able to go on multiple fronts. You should have been able to go and get at least a double. So
hey, look, this brother said if they're so irrelevant, you know why I clown Liverpool, blood? These man won a Premier League title, and Sky Sports done a whole little advert thing for these man, congratulating them, blood. Like, are you mad, bruv? When have you ever seen that done, guys? Sky Sports congratulated Liverpool for winning a Premier League title, bruv. Do you know, bruv, what kind of charity is that?
because they have a lot of pundits. They have a lot of pundits that support them, innit?
Bruv, man congratulated them. They're trying to clown Gary Neville. Man's got 8 of those under his coffee table, blood. You think man really man's got 8 of them, blood. You know the man's resting the mugs on the Premier League medal, blood. Man's got a hot copper on that. You know what I mean? Gary Neville cares about man's 1 Premier League title, fam. Really? You know, the man done the whole little Hollywood thing. Oh, where's Gary? Where's Gary? And that. Shut up, man. You know like that.
Red now.
That's why I clown
you got Carragher. You the whole.
This is why I clown them, bro. Because I'm like, this is so embarrassing, bro. It's embarrassing. It's like celebrating the Charity Shield, man, bro. That's just embarrassing. You know them.
Go on. I mean, personally, I ain't got nothing.
Advert, bro. You gave man an advert, bro. Like your style, you're meant to be impartial in that, and you gave Liverpool an advert.
Hopefully, be invited.
You know, like that. You know, like if you got a youth that plays football and he's shit, and he finally scores a goal and that. You know them ones, and you'll be like, yeah, I'm taking you McDonald's and that. That's what it looked like. That's what it looked like. It's like you just don't rate, man. If you really rate, man, you don't really celebrate it like that, bro. You're Sky. Are you giving man a whole little interlude thing and that with Gary at the airport and that? You man actually filmed that in your own time.
It's true. Do you know when Man United used to win it, yeah? When they done 3 in a row. By the third, I was just like, I don't care, fam, because you man are just always winning this now. It's just like, whatever. Of course they won it. Do you know what I mean? Liverpool, it's like, yo, this is like a massive, big seller. Like, everybody's got to get up for this. And I'm just like, I expected you to win. Why are you so in my face? Do you know what I mean? Like, this was not a surprise to me. You had to win it, right? Yeah, it's mad. Only 2.
I got no beef with. I got no beef with Arsenal and Liverpool. Like, I'm focused on Arsenal. Listen, we're 2 galaxies apart at this moment in time. But before Arsenal, I am a fan of football. Naturally, we're going to talk about the league champions. Like I said, like to that guy's previous comment, we can all admit, great team doing great things. You know, the system works. Klopp has done great things. It's history in itself. First title in 30 years. What you shouldn't be blasting people for doing is now objectively looking at that side, comparing it to previous sides, and seeing where they potentially could have done better. Me as Arsenal fan, Invincibles, like we could have done better in the champs. Yeah, there was rotation and there's variables, but that's a fair question. Do you get? I mean, you can't really ask more of the trebles, but you could. I'm sure if you really wanted to scan United, you could find something with it. And the many Jose sides. No, we're just simply looking at what it could have done. Maybe that's a bit unfair, but as football fans, we're always going to see what could have been, what could they have done. Do you get? If they got 100 points, forget the Invincibles thing. If they got 100 points, we're sitting here with in a different debate. Seriously, we're sitting here saying, is City's one better or is it Liverpool's? But it didn't happen. Can't do. All we're doing is talking ifs and buts. Fundamentally, we can only deal with facts, my guy, whoever that was. So
yeah, we can only deal with what actually happened. And what actually happened is these men didn't challenge in any other competition other than the Premier League. They didn't challenge, bro. They didn't even get to the semis, innit?
Clearly, that was the priority of the season. Like,
so the priority was winning the league. They did that. Well done. You didn't break a record. You didn't do something that's never been done before. There's nothing great about it. The only thing that's great is that you won it for the first time in 30 years. But because we don't support Liverpool, we don't care about that.
Oh, you know,
you know like that.
It's true.
It's true. You know like that. So because of that, the only thing that you done was like you gave your fans something to be happy about. But to everyone else that don't care about Liverpool, yeah, it's just another team won the title.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? When Leicester won the title, it's like, oh shit, it's Leicester, bro. Like their squad's worth like 500,000 and that. Like, you know, there was not looking at Leicester and saying, yeah, look, cheap little team and that. They just came up. They done this, that, and the other. You look at Leicester's journey through the leagues and everything. But when you look at Liverpool, it's like, bro, you've been here, bro. Just been here not doing nothing. And then you done something, but it wasn't as good as what everyone else has done. But you did it. It's all right. Well done in that. That's it. Man, get a pat on the back. Man don't deserve adverts on Sky. Do you know like that? You see what I mean? Right? I just don't get it. And that's why man trolls Liverpool. Only that reason. Because it's like, do you know what I mean? It's only that reason, bro. Do you know what I'm saying? It's only that reason is why man troll them really, innit? Because yeah, cool, you won the league, but it ain't nothing special. Like it's not.
Do you know what? I wouldn't even be trolling if these man weren't talking about it in January. Man was talking about invincibles, quadruples, and so now I have to say something. Do you know what I mean?
I was saying they're gonna break the points record.
Yeah, if you man didn't bring it up with your invincibles and quadruples and centurions, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do that, tear. I wouldn't be talking about it. You man put these thoughts into my head about you man are gonna do this, and now that you haven't done it, I have to speak about it. I have to ask you why. Why have you not done it? You man asked the question. Do you know what I mean? It's as simple as that. It's that
mods, bro. Hey, mods, make sure you're telling people to like and subscribe because I can't see the like count of any of them while I'm in here, innit? So you mods need to be making sure you're doing that, bro. That's why you're there. Hey, Matisse, blood, for you to wrap up, bro. Last question about Chelsea. I haven't seen no All Black news, blood, but what man saying about All Black?
Another goalkeeper, another day, eh?
But that's what I'm saying, bro. The way I see it is,
these Chelsea fans, yeah. Do you know what?
Your goalkeeper's on the death row contract. How are you gonna get All Black, blood?
Okay, so let me break this down, right? Because this one, funnily enough, this one has like a small amount of legs more than the Turkish one we spoke about last week, last time we was on. Now, Atletico Madrid are in like financial trouble at the moment, so there's a reason to think that this has legs. Do you know what I mean? But at the same time, we've seen Atletico Madrid pay like 58 million from Morale. We've seen them, you know, they're definitely in financial problems. So is all the teams in Spain. So it's obvious. The thing is with Oblak is it's going to be either another 100 million or another swap deal, and it's going to have to be Kepa. Now, me personally, I can't see how Atletico Madrid can be seriously rating Kepa. That's the first thing. To be swapping Oblak, the best goalkeeper in the world, for one of the worst.
Permanently as well.
First thing, so they're going to have to be real stupid to even enter those negotiations. And then second of all, the thing is with Oblak is you spend 100 million and you spend 70. That's 170 in 2 years. But more so, is it really? I know Oblak's the best goalkeeper in the world, but there's other areas in the team that need to be addressed. This team's looking at Havertz, and that's a lot closer. This team's looking at getting a centre back. They're looking at getting a left back. You can't get all of those players of a good money and then get Oblak on top. I know Chelsea got peas, but we don't have that kind of peas. Do you know what I mean?
Especially if you're not going to sell someone for a lot of money.
Yeah, there's going to have to be a massive sale or a lot of sales, and we have a lot of deadwood to clear, but it's too far-fetched for me. Do you know what I mean? And I'm not saying that it can't happen, but I'd be very surprised if Chelsea managed to get that done and fix their other problems, because you've been linked with Declan Rice, you've been linked with left-backs like Chilwell, linked with Havertz, which is, you know, quite close. So to get all of that done and then go and fork out 100 for Oblak, when you know Kepa's not got much value to sell, so unless Atletico do a Barca and say we're going to give you Arthur and we're going to take Pjanic, do you know what I mean? Unless Atletico are going to move like that and do some kind of dumbass deal, I personally don't see it happening. I just think it's just a bit too much to ask for. And I know he's the best goalkeeper in the world, but you can get a goalkeeper like from Lazio who's a lot cheaper. He's a good goalkeeper, and you can be a lot better next season.
Or a Leno or something, like, not to gas Arsenal, but Leno costs what, 20 odd million. You can get someone who might not be the world class and makes the difference, but someone competent. Like,
we have like our standards are so low in the goalkeeper department. It's not going to take much for us to be way better. So you don't have to spend. Like, I know this is like a FIFA thing. It looks nice to get Oblak, but you don't have to spend 100 million to be the next season.
You can spend 40 million and get a goalkeeper that can just catch the ball, blood.
Yeah, we can spend 30 or 40 million on a goalkeeper and be way better, like way better. So I don't think Oblak 100 million is necessary. It looks good. He's the world's best and whatnot, and I know it's going to be an unreal signing if we get it. And listen, if Man City are not going to get... then cool, go for it. Go, just start splashing cash. If you want to start splashing.
Let me ask you something, Matisse. Are you taking the what's that guy, man? You know the Ajax keeper. I can't remember his name, but he's linked to you. Probably no legs to it, but you take him, man.
Yeah, I mean, I can't even pronounce his name, but yeah, I know.
That's what I was hoping for.
You know what I mean? Nana or something. The thing is with him is he has a howler in him every now and then, and that's what the TO have done. They've clipped him up and they've found some real bad howlers of him like playing out from the back and making stupid mistakes. But even still, he is
Leno as well. To be fair,
better than Kepa. He's better. He's a massive upgrade on Kepa. They're not in the same league because at the end of the day, the main problem. I don't mind a goalkeeper giving away 2 or 3 goals a season from individual errors if they're saving. If their save percentage, their main job is way higher than Kepa, and their cross collection is way higher than Kepa. You're going to stop more goals than you concede. So he's not the perfect solution. But if that's who we have to get, I would prefer him to Kepa as well because he's a better goalkeeper. His save percentage, I think, last season Champions League was like in the high 70s or nearly 80s. He's always had high save percentages if you go down his whole career. I know he's at Ajax, but you know you got to take it for what it is. Champions League is still one of the top goalkeepers last year. And the thing is with him is that his lowest save percentage of all, like his whole career, I think that's like Kepa's highest or some shit. You know what I mean? So you have to. It's an upgrade. Literally, I don't mean to be rude to Kepa, but there's very few goalkeepers right now that are not upgrades on Kepa.
Why is he falling off so much though? Because like as an Arsenal fan, like I hold my L's. At a point, I thought Kepa was better than Leno. Leno was struggling. It looked like Kepa was flying, and it just seems like very few players' stock has fallen to the level that I've seen with Kepa being there for a while. So like, why is he falling off so much? And what? There's a bag of things wrong with him, but like, what specifically like is what's wrong with Kepa and why it's going wrong? Like?
The thing is with Kepa, right, is that last season he was okay. But we, as our fan base, overhyped him and probably oversold him to you. We took this boy and we put him on the top shelf of the shop and said, we're going to charge you 500 quid. He was only worth 50. Do you know what I mean? We put this forward because new player, fancy hashtag my Kepa, first season, give him time, push it. He saves a penalty with his knee against Frankfurt. It looks all brilliant. It's a great one for the cameras. And we keep pushing this agenda that he's unreal. You look at his statistics from last season, his save percentages in the Europa League. He wasn't one of the top goalkeepers for save percentage. He wasn't one of the top goalkeepers last season in all comps. If you look at him statistically, he was still fairly average. He was just better than he is now. Right now, he's atrocious. Now, last season, we didn't concede so many high-quality shots. The problem with Chelsea this season, they've conceded a lot of high-quality shots. You look at how many shots we concede in the box, I think we're like 3rd from bottom in the league. So the shots are difficult. The problem is that even though the shots are difficult, you look at a Ben Foster who's had similar difficulty type shots, his save percentage is way higher. So that tells you Kepa, although he's had problems and although he's unlucky with the defense not stopping the high quality shots, he's still a goalkeeper. And my thing is, I don't really care if you've been unlucky. If I can see that you're not good enough, period, then you can go too. And we can fix the defense, definitely, but we also can fix you too, because both of them is not good enough. So with Kepa, the main weaknesses are you don't see him commanding his box, and when he does command his box, he can't catch it or collect. It's usually a flap, and it will either lead to a mistake or another opportunity. His wrists are weak as hell. You see him whenever he's saving things, he's getting to it, but then his wrist is like flapping, and it's still going into the goal. He was just almost there, and then people will come with his shot power.
Yeah, man, like Kit Kat blood. That's what I told man already, fam. You know what it is, yeah? It reminds me of, you see when De Gea came, bruv, and De Gea was flapping at everything, and them goalkeepers that come from Spain are good at commanding boxes, coming from crosses, because they don't have to deal with that week in, week out. But the difference is De Gea was kind of given time to kind of come in and kind of improve on that, because De Gea was looking all suspect like, at the beginning, but he was a good shot stopper. So because he could at least shot stop, we got away with the fact that he was punching. They used to double up on De Gea from set pieces and that, because they knew that it wouldn't come for them. They targeted him in it. But I think with Kepa, because his fundamentals are letting him down,
big fundamentals,
like it's 10 times worse. Do you know what I'm saying? And I just think that maybe he's just homesick, and maybe that's why Atletico might be looking at him, because they might think, you know what, if he comes back, that man might be able to kind of
motivate him.
Because maybe he's just not built for elite football.
He's not built for it. I mean, the thing is with him is his shot stopping is poor. His command in the area is poor. That's 2 massive areas where you have to be on point. And then if you're looking at his distribution, it's just good. It's like he looks good while passing, but he's not doing defense splitting passes like Alisson or Ederson. It's not that deep. So if you just look at him from a goalkeeper standpoint, he's just not good enough. That's the problem. And yeah, it's just the fundamentals, and we just have to have a better goalkeeper. If you look at Chelsea's goalkeepers that we're used to, your Czechs, your Courtois, they come and collect their crosses, man, and that means
lose confidence throughout the whole squad.
It oozes confidence, and it just helps the whole back four in general. And he can't do that. And the thing is with him is that I don't see potential in him. I don't see him getting better. He's 25, gonna be 26. I don't see him improving. If I could see him improving, I'd give him time. But there's too many fundamental issues. One last thing that is real big problem that's really slept on. He dives backwards. If you watch his saves, his diving technique is actually flawed. He dives
like Ospina, fam.
He dives backwards, you know.
If you watch the way he dives, he doesn't dive forwards towards the ball to give himself momentum when he's saving. He dives backwards. His arms go behind him. This is only something that I've noticed recently from speaking to goalkeeping coaches and people that used to play goalkeeping, because I wanted to go in on this guy because I'm so sick of it. I was like, why is he so bad? I started speaking to people. They're telling me this boy is diving backwards. So I started watching his games and I'm like, his hands are behind him when he's diving. He's trying to claw it out. So if you're going to dive backwards, you're going backwards into the goal. The ball's taking you with it. Do you know what I mean?
You're not helping yourself. You're making it easier. Like you're defeating yourself.
Yeah, but the thing is with him is that this is his technique. This is his style. So there's only so like I can't be correcting all these errors now. Do you know what I mean? It's like at some point it's just bite the bullet and get rid of him. I love player improvement. I love coaching, but this is not a daycare. Do you know what I mean? If you've got that many things wrong with you, you're just gonna have to bounce. Because I'm trying to see trophies before my kids are born, before I have kids. Do you know what I mean? I'm not a player development. If there's something to develop, or there's one weakness, like you said with a system player, sometimes there's just one or two weaknesses that you just need to hide. This brother's just got weaknesses across the whole board. It's just everywhere. Glaring issues. It's too much. It's too much, man. Too much.
How much did Martinez cost Arsenal? Someone just asked.
Probably like 500k, a million. We bought him when he was a youth, man. He was like 17, 18. He's been here for a minute.
He came through like
no, we bought him from his Independent, and he's done the whole youth academy stuff and going out on loan and being.
Arsenal stay doing that, blood. They stay buying them man there.
I think he even got called up to Argentina squad way before he even got a look in at Arsenal and stuff like that. And this is the thing, like situations people can arise through these situations. Like Leno was injured, Martinez took it on himself. I rate Martinez because I rate him because I remember seeing in a booklet in a program for Arsenal, he's like, I want the number one shot. And I felt it was far-fetched. I was like, you've been here 10 years, you know, it's a second or third choice. You're not going to do it. The universe obviously has planted a way for it to happen, and he's seizing it. What I like about him, his distribution, when he was playing Europa League, fair play, you're not like Europa League is not like coming around every week sort of thing. He's only playing the occasional cup game. So I didn't really see too much in the first. I thought, his distribution is looking booky. I don't know if it's as a result of the modern day, what Emre and obviously Arteta won, and obviously we've got new coaches, but he looks calm on the ball, almost too calm now, like you saw when Firmino hit the post because he banged it into him. What I like about his distribution, and I think Leno's got it as well, but it's like he means it. Like, he's never going to be Edison and Alisson, but I see him doing a couple of them little balls there, and I think he's putting pressure. I think we're in a difficult situation with Martinez because apparently he was going to leave because, he probably wants to play first team football. He's now come and complicated it. From a fan's perspective in the club, obviously it's great. You got Leno coming in. I think Leno's top done, but people even saying, Leno's got a fight. He's not going to be there. For us, they're going to bring the best out of each other. But would you want to go back to sitting on the bench at 27 after getting a taste for it? And that's where Arsenal come into it. We've got him until 2022. We need money. Can we get a 15, 20 on him in the same way Maitland looks to go, Guendouzi looks to go? All these pennies are going to count for Arsenal. And to be fair, if you let Martinez go, we need another keeper. But we heard as fans, we're looking for a next keeper anyways. And now Martinez has actually ripped up Arsenal's plans, what they were trying to do. So we're in a difficult situation. And I'd probably say with Corona, I'd say 15, 20, we've got to consider it. We probably should be chatting to him about a new deal now. And it's a difficult one because at some point, goalies is not like strikers. We've got to have a number one. There's not, maybe when the game changes with how Alisson and Edison are, they'll be more interchangeable. But for me, I like confidence. And I think confidence comes from consistency and stability. Your back five, I always say it in all these vids, including the keeper. I need to see you playing 38 games or so in the Prem. Cup, managers do what they want. And is Martinez going to want to go back to that? He doesn't have a choice if he signs a new deal, at least for another year or 2 years or so. But I'd say 15, 20, man, with COVID in in mind. And of course, as a club, I'd want us to get more because I mean, 2 different positions. But if you got 30 million for Iwobi, you know, you must can get 30 or more for Martinez because I don't know what's going to happen. But look at Pickford, you know, he's riding off the fact that he's a British player and an English player. If he was foreign, we'll be looking at him a bit more because he's making them.
Man had the same discussion yesterday when man were talking about unconscious bias in football, bro. You know them ones. Bruv, Pickford is English, bro. You know them ones. And when man was saying about unconscious bias, you see these English, man, we give them so much leeway, fam. You know them. We give them so much leeway, blood. Phil Jones is still at Man United picking up money, bro. How?
This is it.
If man was Argentinian, yeah, or if man was French or Italian, we're running this you out the club. What do you mean you're sitting down on 110,000 a week, not even in the squad? Running man out the club. Running him out.
It's mad because there's no real, like I said, I know there's a home quota rule and there's got to be a certain amount of players, but there's no need for a Phil Jones in your squad. Just promote a youngster, honestly. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Back onto your Martinez thing, I find it mad. You're discussing 2 quality goalkeepers and I don't even have one. Do you know what I mean? Out here talking about at Chelsea, do we take Kepa out and put in Caballero? But Caballero is not good enough either. So then should we just bring in Cummings, who's never made a game for the club and he's playing for the under-23s? And our fan base are actually starting to have a serious conversation. Is it Kepa or Cummings? That's how peak is getting. You man are here talking about 2 quality goalkeepers. Which one do we want? Are we got one on Monday or one on Tuesday? How is your second choice?
We need that. All our problems, we need that, man.
How is your second choice goalkeeper better than our first choice? What's going on?
That's the thing. That's the thing. And for Martinez, it's down to him to maintain it, Carl. You know, he's not a young player, but it's similar to young players like Greenwood and Saka. Like, they're 2 quality players. They'll show their consistency. But you see, when you get your chance and you're riding high and everything's going good, I don't know if Martinez, if he starts as a number 1, 38 games, if he's going to show this level, if he's going to show mistakes, because even yesterday, you know, he almost made that mistake for Firmino. The goal actually starts from his goal kick. So there are elements in his game, but what I like about him is it's similar to Tierney. Obviously, he's never going to be that sort of guy for us, but he wants to seize his opportunity. He wants to stand up to be counted. It genuinely means something to him. So I've got all the time in the world for Martinez. I just feel it's a very difficult one because, you know, we've got to make a decision because we'll have to buy a keeper if we sell Martinez. Martinez can probably generate, now that I think about it, if Pickford's doing what he's doing, I know I was saying 15, 20, can we push the boat and 30? Arsenal need to be a bit audacious in that regard. So, yeah, Leno's my number 1, but it's a tough one, man.
Definitely, bro. Right, big up everyone for tuning in. Still over 1,000 people watching. Make sure you slap the like. Make sure you follow the man them on the socials. The ads are there. You man already know what it is. Big up for all your super chats. Big up for all your comments as usual, bruv. Man them, anything else you want to plug while you're here?
Nah, man, they know where to follow me, Deluded Gooner, on everything from YouTube to Facebook to Twitter. Everything is there. You know, the at is in well, they can see it. That's about it, my guy, man.
Yeah, man. Same here. It's really just the ads there. Twitter. That's where I'm hot. That's where I'm doing my stuff. It's just Twitter. Instagram's kind of just like whatever, but Twitter, that's where it is. So that's really it.
Don't know. And yeah, I'll be back later anyway with the pre-match guys. So all your United questions, you can save them. You can save them for man later. About 6:45, man's gonna be on with Campbell, like talking about this game. It's a must-win, bro. Chelsea won. I'm saying there's rumors that Pogba might have got a knock and he might not be starting. Obviously, it's looking like Dan James is starting because Mason's got a knock as well, blood. I don't know, innit, bro? Like, this better not be the start of, you know what I'm saying, blood? Because I'm down, fam. It could be the start of a Mazza. I did warn you, look, we are 1 or 2 injuries away from being crap again, you know, when everyone was talking, oh, maybe we don't need Sancho and them things.
Whoa.
Oh, come on. Who said that now?
Well, they're United fans, so Greenwood scored 3 goals.
The thing about, I said Arsenal, but I meant football fans. This is the thing, yeah. Fans will scream, we need depth. But when everything's going great, they'll scream, no, we don't need it because he's not going to get into the team. You need to realize injuries are a thing. You look at Laporte. If City invested in another centre half, do you get it? Laporte is their number 1, but that's derailed their season. Teams like Man United, any team, in fact, in the Premier League, it shouldn't be able to be derailed by 1 or 2 injuries. Obviously, it contributes, but that's where fans have a cake and eat it. You can't scream depth. Then when a man is screaming, "Oh, Mason isn't going to play. Mason's development isn't going to get there." Bearing in mind, he's 18, fam. Like there's going to be times he needs to come out the team and whatnot.
I can't believe I'm hearing this. I can't believe I'm hearing this.
Jadon Sancho, you know.
Me. You have an opportunity to rotate Martial, Rashford, Sancho, and Greenwood as your front four, and man are saying no
to Sancho. Like madness.
Y'all need to stop.
This is what happens, isn't it? So now when we see the lineup today, hopefully Pogba's in it. But if he's not, I'm worried, guys. I'll put it out there. I'm worried, blood, because Palace ain't got nothing to play for. But them teams that ain't got nothing to play for, the ones you need to worry about, blood. The man are not just gonna roll over. This is the Premier League.
I swear Greenwood has a knock, isn't it?
Yeah, Greenwood's not starting for sure. They said that he's injured.
So now you man
automatically a lot weaker now with Daniel James.
Yeah. So if you had Sancho, there would be no James. So just
then you're in for something, man. But this is what I'm talking about. Any club like United players, Oli, for all his criticisms, he shouldn't need to tell you why you need to win today. This is the games and you're backed in the corner. You need to stand up and be counted. Do you want top 4 or not? It comes down to that. Do you want the Champions League back at Old Trafford? Do you want I assume, bonuses for a lot of these players if they qualify for them things? Don't come into a ball. Like you said, Rants, it can go 2 ways. It's either, Palace players are on holiday, they can't be asked, they've secured what they're securing, or they just say, you know what, let's just spoil it. Like Zaha might just say, you know what, this is my former club. They weren't really rating me too tough then. It's not at all, but let's ruin it. Like, is that Selhurst Park, right?
Yeah, bro, it's away. That's what I'm trying to say. Palace away ain't no joke thing, bro. And especially if men are not at full strength as well, bro. Like, that's why I have to see the starting lineup before man can be mad confident. We should beat them, but bro, we should have beaten Southampton and we didn't. You know them ones. So, like, bro, this could be the part of the season where bare man are picking up little injuries now, and we don't have the depth in it. And we've shown that when we rotate, we don't look the same, bro. So I always said it, we're a couple of injuries away from it being a bit sticky, innit? So man are gonna see when I see the lineup, then man will know how confident I am. But bro, 6:45, man, them lock in for the preview, and we'll catch you then.
Mad.